Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum students. How are you all? I hope so that you all are fine. As you know that we are on chapter number 6, the twins, and we have completed its reading with translation and we have completed its vocabulary also. Today we are going to learn its explanation with reference to the context. So we move towards the first one stanza. In form and feature, face and limb, I grew so like my brother that folks got taking me for him, and each for one another. It puzzled all over kith and kin. It reached a fearful pitch, for one of us was born a twin, yet not a soul knew which. So, students, when we are going to write down the reference to the context with explanation, first of all, we will give the reference of these lines, that these lines have been taken from the poem The Twins, written by Henry S. Lee. Then we write down the context. The context will be, in this poem, the poet narrates a story of twin brothers. They got mixed by a nurse while they were being washed. When they were at school, one was beaten up for the follies of the other. Now we move towards the explanation of these lines. In this stanza, the poet explains that he grew identical like his brother in face, form, and features. He says that people could not tell any difference between them as they were born twins. Even their friends and relatives could not identify them apart. So, this is the explanation of the first one stanza. Now we move towards the next one. One day, to make the matter worse, before our names were fixed, as we were being washed by nurse, we got completely mixed. And thus you see, by fate's decree, or rather nurse whim, my brother John was named me, and I was named him. So, students, you can describe these lines in this way. The poet describes how and when the nurse was washing them, she mixed them up so that they were christened incorrectly, each getting other's name. He also suggests that fate may have had a hand in it. The nurse did not do so deliberately. Next stanza 3. This fatal likeness ever dodged my footsteps when at school, and I was always getting flogged, for John turned out a fool. I put this question fruitlessly to everyone I knew. What would you do if you were me to prove that you were you? So, students, this is a very interesting stanza, and when you are going to write down the explanation with reference to the context, first of all, you have to give the reference that these lines have been taken from the poem The Twins, written by Henry S. Lee. Then you have to write down the context, that in which context these lines are said. So, after this, you will write down the explanation. In this stanza, the poet describes that this striking resemblance always put him in a difficulty. He was always caned for his brother's stupidities at school, as he was mistaken for he. He asks everyone what they would do if they were he. He also asks how they would prove their individuality. Henry S. Lee is ending this poem on a question for audience and for the readers, that what they would do to prove their individuality if they were born twins and they have to face all that problems. So students, this is the explanation of the whole poem which you have read earlier, and you have completed this translation also, and difficult meanings and vocabulary was also explained. So I hope so this is quite clear to you, and you can easily learn the paraphrasing or explanation of this poem. So take care of yourself. Allah Hafiz.